So I've come to a bit of a small decision. I like this game a lot, and I kind of want to have as much fun as possible playing this game. And also, I kind of want to just lightly touch on the mechanics and all the stuff that happens with this game. Because of how I am, I don't like giving super detailed descriptions of every single thing that happens, but I'll try my best. So, the first thing that I'm going to say is, well, this is the home screen, which is the most obvious thing, which is where you'll start to navigate the actual game for Vanguard Zero. You got the gift box, you got missions, info, where you get a lot of the updates, and then the menu. Menu's fun, because this is where you can do training fights, challenge fights, the story album, profile, friends, and all the other stuff up here. The fun thing about profile is that this is where you can change your profile. We got the boy, me, Draco King, and the entirety of my, why I love Dark Irregular so much. And you also have something else here too. The legends, the achievements, which have very little or to none, and then the win slash what clans you were using to play and how you got all your wins. Now, as you see, my Nova Grappler and Dr. Regulars are in the 200s, and that's pretty decent. Dimension Police, low. Goals, low. Narukami is getting up there. I do like Narukami. I wanted to play more of it. Ground Blue got a surprising amount of play. Pirates. And then Genesis has 85. I want to get that up. I want to play more Genesis. This wave of Genesis is really fun. More Kumo, actually surprisingly fun. Okay, Link Joker is a good deck. I just don't like playing it. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Gold Paladins, I don't know. It's a good deck, I just don't play it. Royals is up there. Kagura got me a lot of wins. Shadow Paladin got me a surprisingly amount of good wins. Spike Brothers got me a decent amount. OTT. What was I playing? OTT. Sorry, Oracle Think Tank. Oh, I know what it was. Battle Sister engine. Right. That's fair. The Spike Brothers is really good. So, yeah. There's a lot more stuff. So, the screen that I've shown you guys the most was kind of this. This is where you can go to rank fights and where you can basically play rank. If you have friends on the actual game, you can go to friend fight and play there. And they added this a few months back, but the training grounds, that's where you can actually just test decks without having to worry about trying to level up your rank and just play and try to get a better understanding of the deck you play, which is always fun. This is where you actually do a lot of the deck building, and you can actually just look at the cards. We'll come back to this in a moment. Oh boy, this is the shop. You have the ability to basically use the packs that you procured through playing the game or using your actual currency. Trust me, sometimes it's necessary. But yeah, this is where you're able to actually roll for your cards, because I hate to say it, just like a lot of other mobile games, this is a gacha game where you have to be able to draw for your cards. Now, that's not to say that you can't actually make your own cards in the game. What I mean by make, I mean literally make the cards. Oh yeah, that was funny. But yeah, you basically, just like in the real world when you open packs, that's what you're basically doing. And I have 34 packs that I already have. And this has every single set that we've had. And we've gone through, I played the game right when it came out for US. So yeah, I've been through all these. Fun. That was the most annoying. And yeah, that's why we're here in Legion. So going into the next categories, don't worry about these two. You really don't have to worry about team unless you're all part of one. or my room, unless you like doing the whole decor thing, which understandable. Now we're gonna move back to, well, another part of this, the cards, because that's the reason why you would play this game, is to play with the cards. I want to go to the card overview because that's probably as of this second, the best way to actually show you how this works. So, there is a set number of clans that we have as of right now. We're going to be getting one more when we go to the new era, but let's not worry about that right now. What we're going to worry about is the fact that there are a couple. My brain is dumb. I don't actually know the exact number at the moment, but let's just say the fact that we have a fair few. I don't feel like counting. And if you're paying attention to the entirety of the screen, you'll notice at the bottom that there are gems and different materials at the bottom. These here are representative of the materials that you're able to use to actually craft your cards that you want to make. And of course, they go up in rarity. From the commons, rare, double rare, and triple rare. And in that, there are conditions to how many you need to be able to craft a certain card. When you look at a common, well, that was not a really good example because I already have a lot of it. So yeah, that's a slight issue. I have maxed out a lot of this because they're kind of easy to get. What about what a card I don't have? Oh, you play this game, you kind of have a lot of the cards. Oh, this is actually a good example. To be able to create another version of this card, which will be the shiny, you need a certain amount of blank cards, which I have a fair bit. That's how you do commons. The rares, like this, takes these stones, which is 500, and then the blank cards. And it'll kind of keep scaling up as you go. Because once you get to the double rare, you'll need the double rare stones, you'll need the rare stones, and then the cards. And then the triples. You'll need 100 triple rare stones, 200 double rare, 2,000 rares, and 4,000 blank cards. It's doable, and there are ways to be able to do this. Multiple different ways. You can grind in the daily events and face off against different clans, and by using your stamina for that, which is pretty okay for the daily grind. It slowly stacks up things you need. A little bit more guaranteed, but meh, it helps. Or when you roll the gacha, you get multiple different copies of the same triple rare. And once you get more than what you already have, it pays you back with the triple rare material, which is always fun. Now, how do you build a deck once you have it? Have a certain amount of cards? Well, after you get out of the card viewer, you go to the deck builder. Now, you can create a deck from scratch. And when you do that, you create your own original deck. The first thing you need to do is choose a clan. Once you do, and once that happens, it takes forever to load. Lovely. But yeah, you have Royal Paladin, Kagero, Oracle Think Tank, or just say OTT, the Nova Grappler, Shadow Paladin, Dark Irregular, Pale Moon, Spike Brother, Dimensional Police, Bermuda Triangle, Neo Nectar, Grand Blue, Gold Paladin, Narukami, Aqua Force, Great Nature, Angel Feather, Genesis, Tachikaze. Sorry, out of breath. Nubatama, Morokumo, Link Joker, and Mega Colony. The last one here hasn't come out yet because we're waiting on G for that to come out. But when it does, well, if I'm still doing this, I'll tell you then. If not, well, you're just going to have to wait and see. But yeah, you pick one of the clans, and you can build your deck from there and build it however you want, to a certain degree. So I'm not going to build a new deck. I have no need to. But what I will do is kind of go over, as of right this moment, one of my favorite decks and show you kind of how you would build it. This is Narukami. Specifically, this deck revolves around a certain name, and that is Brawlers. Originally, when Narukami came out, it was more based after another Thunder Dragon. His name was Vermilion. Draconic Kaiser Vermilion. Fun. Now then, it kind of evolved afterwards into, well, the Blood. Fun as always. But then another archetype came into play. The Eradicators. Or, as you would say it in Japan, the actual, apparently the actual name in Japan was Ereza, because they would erase the field. And they had a lot of different boss monsters, and I mean a lot. But now we're in the era of those brawlers. Big Bang Knuckle Dragon. As you saw in the previous video, well, the first video I put out, where I used them, you swing. Narukami's focus is to be able to push out big damage by taking out multiple cards on the field in as few blows as possible, while maintaining board control. And there are multiple different ways they have the ability to do that. They have cards like this that counterblast to retire a front row rear guard. As you already saw with the grade 3, has the ability to just hit the entirety of the front row. Kind of how the original first Narukami boss unit did. But of course in Legion, we're able to push out a lot more power. So, yeah. But everything doesn't start with a grade 3. It starts with a grade 0. You need that to start the game. So, you have Brawler fighting Draco Kid. And that's how you start. This is how you start. You go from grade 0 to your grade 1s. Then you move to grade 2. Then you end up on grade 3. Now, there are other decks that have a grade 4. Some use it, some don't. But you kind of build up your card economy in that sense. Now, some of the more important cards to remember are your PGs. These perfect guards kind of help you not die in certain scenarios. There are times where your opponent has the ability to turn these off, sadly, but you need 4 at all times. Now, next bit. You need to have 13 grade 1s in your deck. Well, you need 13s of every card except for the grade 0. You want to make sure you find a balance for them, depending on how your playstyle will be. But you always want at least 4 perfect guards for your grade 1s. Grade 2s, you gotta be able to figure out your own balance for that. If you have a card that is able to countercharge for you, you kind of want more of it. But if there's a specific player or a specific piece you want to guarantee you always have, try to have more of that. Grade 3s. In Vanguard Zero, grade 3s and up are super important because they play a kind of a duality role. These cards act as your units, but they also act as one of the features of this game, triggers. In the original Cardfight Vanguard physical card game, the grade 3s were not considered triggers. We had grade 0s that act as this. In Vanguard Zero, in order to make up for the fact that we're not using as the grade zeros in our decks, they utilize the grade threes. So now you can set your grade 3 as any trigger you want. And these triggers are as the following. Critical triggers. If you check a critical trigger during your turn as a drive check, you can do more damage depending on how many you check. Draw trigger. Very simplistic skill. If you check it during your drive check or your damage check, you get power and you also get to draw a card. Stand trigger. If you activate the stand trigger during your drive check, you may stand one of your units and you get power. Note, you can only stand your rear guard units, not your Vanguard. Your Vanguard has to be able to stand through other methods, not your trigger though. Heal trigger. If you have equal or higher damage than your opponent and you check this during your damage or drive check, you may heal one. Kind of nutty. And in some situations, very clutch. But yeah, that's basically how this works. Oh, also, you are only allowed to have 4 heals in the deck. Other than that, you can have as many number of the other ones as you want, as long as you have 13 grade 3s. So yeah, that's how that works. So once you have your understanding of how you want to build it, what you're building around, you can kind of go from there and build whatever kind of deck you want. This video was a little long, but I wanted to get the bare bones basics of how stuff kind of works in this game. It's not perfect, but then again, this game isn't perfect. It's fun in its own little way. I loved a lot of the art in this game, and sometimes the gameplay functionality is really cool too. But as of right this moment, there's not much else I really have to say. Honestly, the next video you'll probably end up seeing is probably more gameplay, because, yeah, no, it's how it is. I will say, though, from this point on, if there is an active event that I want to try to do, which I should have also noted that a lot of the clans are locked behind different events, meaning you can't get those cards unless you play certain events. Kind of sucks, but yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. So yeah, as of right now, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can leave a like if you want. And subscribe to see more. If not, understand. If you have any ways of improving the video, please, and I'm begging here, please leave me some comments to kind of help improve. I'll do what I can. But until then, until next time, peace. I was trying to do that.